This thing is a grain puffer, which can be used to expand all kinds of different grains. In this video, we're going to test out a few different options: wheat, kamut, and corn. It works by pressuring up the grain and then opening the vessel while it's still under pressure.
5 pounds of corn, 2 teaspoons of water.
So you can see a pretty heavy-duty welded container here. Nice coarse thread screw and the locking mechanism. I suppose we need that little bar.
And the other bar too? Where's that?
So when you got this, there was no relief valve on it, right?
Correct.
So it was just a pressure vessel that you could heat up and walk away from, and eventually it would blow up.
But if you're watching what you're doing and your pressure gauge works, in theory you wouldn't need that.
Right. But I'm grateful to see that you did go ahead and add a pressure relief valve. So what's that open at? Like 200 maybe?
Can you read it? I think it might be a 200, but...
Yeah, which that seems like that would be about right. I mean, this wouldn't blow up until it got, like, really high, probably. Okay, so we got rotation. Is the burner lit up on it yet? Not yet.
Yeah, it's going.
Oh, it is. It is. It's not real bright flames in there. So then, how long does it take to puff usually?
On the first batch, since this isn't warm yet, it's gonna take longer than the second batch. But
Yep.
I think when we were doing the wheat, it was taking about 9 minutes, maybe, roughly. But I was holding an additional torch on it to speed it up.
So they just have a little worm gear motor run off a 12 volts DC, and then they've got their little burner, and there is like a little board, I suppose, just for controlling this to be 2 different speeds. What's this red button for?
It's the igniter for the...
Okay, so it does have an igniter for the burner assembly.
I put everything it needed on there when I built it.
Yeah. You just ordered a build kit. Mostly assembled. Except for the relief valve and gauge, of course. And so you can speed it up a little bit by just warming that. I suppose it takes a lot to get this steel all warmed up. I mean, that's still cold practically. And this is just the release for rotating the whole.
Dip it down or tip it up to fill it.
And then of course on this side is the net and hopper for catching the corn once you blow it out. And this whole thing rides on these little heavy casters. I don't know what they call these, but they're designed to ride on an angle iron like that. So the whole apparatus can cook out here, get up to pressure, and then you can roll it forward into here. And then when it fires, I imagine it kicks back a little bit.
Here's what it calls for corn. It says 0.8 to 1.1.
Interesting. Some pretty heavy springs in there. Do those get compressed all the way when you open it up? Usually?
I have no idea. It's just there's a little too much other stuff going on to
observe that
To
particular.
that. But if somebody has a video on it, holding it on slow-mo video, we'll be able to see.
Hi everybody. You excited to make some puffed corn? So now we just wait for the pressure to build up, and then we get back and watch it explode.
We need to tie that in.
So we're building some pressure here. We're about 10 minutes in. We're gonna go for like 90 PSI maybe?
Yeah, when we did it before, we did 100, I opened it at about 100 PSI on the corn.
Yep. So we're gonna open up the corn at about 100 PSI. You can see we're right about there. Yep, so here's the lever. All right, so we're at 100 and or so.
Yeah, your ears.
Woo! Nice.
I thought I felt the wrench.
There it went.
What's the corn from?
It looks like it's a little bit underpopped.
Premature.
At first
Yeah,
first
wasn't
glance.
quite enough.
Should we dump it? What do I push this?
Yeah.
But I need this stuff.
More. Pull it. Okay.
You can see all the kernels are expanded some, but some of them are not expanded very much. The lighter kernels all ended up on this end. It's actually good for them to lose their moisture. It does smell really good. So we're gonna have to go a little more on the next batch, I think. We're gonna load it up and maybe try a different pressure. So we're at about 115 maybe?
120, right there.
All right. That had a little more kick. Oh, it blew the end out. Landon! So other than the end blowing out, that was actually much better expansion on these kernels. Yeah, pretty nice actually. Increases the volume quite substantially. You would still want to bake these or something a little bit to get out the rest of the moisture, because they're just a little bit, they would be like stale. Eating them right now, they're kind of like stale. And now we've got about 7.5 pounds of wheat with a couple tablespoons of water. And we're going to target about 150 or 160. Just approaching, we're about 145. You can see it building though.
Yep, I think it's time. You want me to let it go around again?
No, well, about 150 is what you guys were doing before, right? And that seemed pretty good.
Ready?
Yep. Woo! Sweet. I feel like it's good for it to shake the steam out of it a little bit. That looks pretty good. There we go. Not bad, I don't think. What do you think of that expansion? Is that about what you were getting before?
Yep. Yep, real close. You want to take that tray out of there? I don't want this stuff in there.
Yep, go ahead. The stuff that sticks to the inside of the pot gets a little bit burnt, so it's good to remove the good stuff before you shake it again. So this 3-pound cottage cheese container, 3 of these into the puffer with about 2 tablespoons of water, puffed to 150 psi, came out to an entire 5-gallon bucket of wheat. So that's a pretty, I think it's a pretty impressive expansion rate. And you can see the stuff that got shot out is expanded more than the stuff that we dumped out of the hopper immediately afterwards. Once in a while there's occasional like dud grains, like this one right here, you know, didn't really expand much, but still really easy to crunch. So much nicer, I think, than the corn. For some reason, this this burner is super loud, and it like whistles at us. So we're trying to get the air adjusted right to get a good healthy flame, but then it whistles like that at you when you give it too much air, so it's kind of annoying. We're just at 150 now. We're trying to decide if we should just open it now or if we should let it go a couple more pounds up to 160.
Over now.
It's like we're at 150. I think that's about 160 right there.
By the time we get it open.
Yep.
It is.
Woo! Wow. You alright? I didn't expect it to do that.
Did you?
No. Oofta mama.
I'm maybe not supposed to hold it. Maybe I should just let it.
The wheat looks good.
It's definitely darker. But I don't.
A little bit.
see
We
that
also cooked it a lot
expands
longer
more.
because we didn't put extra heat on it. We'll have to inspect our machine here and see if anything got damaged during that
Oh, it's fine.
puffing. Okay, there's a few kernels in here, Lane, that are definitely more expanded.
They're what?
There are some kernels in here that are bigger, more expanded.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like we really gained much by going 10 pounds more.
Well, let's kamut.
All right, kamut is our next trial grain. Pretty clean. So this is kamut, a different type of wheat. Kind of weird how it's like a clear grain.
152. Did I do it?
Yeah, I think so.
Don't want to go 160?
Woo! Wow. That thing is kicking. The drawer's not quite in place. Those are definitely a lot bigger puffs.
Wait, it got our wire there.
See the size of the puffs here?
Our red wire came off.
Yep, we'll have to do some fixing on it in a minute. That was aggressive.
Little burn there. That's because it sat in there probably.
Yeah. Well, this stuff looks really good. Those are 3 kamut grains, and these are 3 expanded kamut grains. And I don't think that that's an inaccurate, like I just picked out the biggest ones. You can see that one compared to how big they get. It's just kind of insane. So the kamut wheat really puffs big. And then we've got our second batch that we did and our first batch. So we're gonna open this one up right at 150. Woo! Did it kick you?
Oh, it's good.
Good. Wow. It blew the bag open a little bit. It's about a bowl on the ground. It really shoots it out hard.
How much on the ground?
About a bowl.
So what we should do is just come put the string back even farther.
Back further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a little more to go to. But it's fine. I mean, not like a big deal.
See that? Beautiful though.
Cleaned out completely in there. Hate to quit. We're having so much fun.
We've got it dialed in, except for I think we should make it not flip over every time now.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, quite the machine. You can really puff out some volume in just a couple hours. That's going to be like 4 or 5 gallon pails minus the corn.
Feed George Washington's army.
With cereal. So it seems like that 7.5-ish pounds with a fast cook, 150 psi and 2 tablespoons of water. That seems to be about where it's at. That's nice. And then the longer cook, this one we didn't run the extra torch on, so it cooked longer and it got darker, as you can see, and it has a slightly more like burned taste almost. And then the kamut, we just did that same fast cook, 150 psi, 2 tablespoons of water, and that was really good that way. And just like that, we've got it all vacuum packed up. Seems like the vacuum packing is gonna keep it really well, so we'll just have nicely portioned amounts for breakfast cereal. Nice stuff. Man, once it's all put away, it's really just like one little pallet of stuff. We're getting some rain outside, so got a little soaked down here, but yeah, cool machine.